In a world where things almost make sense, and most everything is interesting and mildly unique, it's a place that feels somewhat familiar and has the suspicious comfort of a loving semi-omnipresence. You are on the outskirts of Loutopia. Sit back and relax, or tense up and march around. Please welcome your host of Loutopia, Lou Angel Wolf.
I love it when he says my name. How you doing, folks? Welcome to the Loutopia podcast. Lou Angel Wolf here. That's Don Capone from DonCapone.com. Does professional voiceovers like you wouldn't believe. Here we are, folks. It's the middle of July. It's 1,000,000 degrees outside. Things are bursting into flames. I drive a black pickup truck, and I parked at the mall the other day, and I left it out there for about 4 hours right in the middle of the afternoon. I opened the door. A demon ran out.
With freshly baked cookies.
Well, that's my favorite Lou Angel Wolf joke of all time.
The demon said, "Yeah, man, you gotta crack a window or something for me. Leave me a bowl of water. You can't just leave me in there." But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Loutopia podcast. Lou Angel Wolf, Michael Merberg to my right.
Good to be here.
Yeah, good to have you, buddy. And Chris Gorgeous over there.
Hello.
Hey. Second half of the show, we have Beth Snyder. Beth is our special second half guest. She's my personal hypnotherapist, my beautiful friend, and the owner-operator of the Ohm Shop in beautiful southern Sarasota. Ladies and gentlemen, you can listen to the IRN Broadcast Network. That's irnbroadcast.com. And Loutopia will be on there live, simulcast. We're also broadcasting on YouTube and Podomatic. The show always gets archived to Podomatic. So we're trying to get it out there. And hey, everybody, good to see you all. Tony and Joan, and thanks for showing up, everybody. Daniel Miller's back, checking on our progress. And there's the fastest skinny guy in the world, Lee Pritchard. He's a motorcycle drag racer. Huh. Lee's like 60-something. I tell you what, man, he's got the reflexes of like a 20-year-old. He's amazing. And he walks a little bow-legged because he's got giant balls. He jumps on these motorcycles that go like 200 miles an hour and nothing flat. And
yeah, you better have reflexes.
yeah, it's just a day in the park for him.
I've met a lot of those people that have reflexes, and it's always like they have reflexes until you need to help them. You need them to help you move, and then they're all like, "Oh, I can't do it. I got problems."
Yeah, all the skaters and stuff that you know, and those guys. Yeah, I imagine they would be lazy movers. Bro, I don't want to like bend up my fingers, and you never know when you need a good finger move. So, folks, today's topic of the show is releasing your past, and I think that's very, very important. We've covered this topic as a topic before, and as a side topic to many Loutopias. The Loutopia podcast is about health, humor, and well-being, and this slides in across all of that because I literally know, I'm a stand-up comic. For those of you who don't know, I'm in my 35th year of those labors. And really enjoy myself, really have a beautiful time. 99.9% of everybody I meet in the business is just a gem. And that's a very, very high percentage rate for any industry. But I do know some comedians who have had a couple of failures, and literally a couple of failures stopped them dead in their tracks. They did not go any further. They accepted that failure as the end of their road. And, man, they're just locking up so much great potential, so much great material that they still have inside themselves. But they're a victim of their own mentality, thinking that they've been defeated. Hey, man, there are many battles in a war. And if you're a performer, an actor, a writer, singer, songwriter, whatever it is, you're in a band, whatever. And, there's just so many stories of people that made it like after the most ridiculous amount of tries. You know, people say, well, it was his 47th attempt at getting the book published, and then he wrote War and Peace. I don't know.
Or stories of people reinventing themselves over and over from the ashes, you know?
Yeah, I get that, and I understand, and a lot of times it's just beautiful to start new. You know, it's just you just let go of what was there, and you know, in fact, in my own way of thinking, Michael, how do you because I know you've had to deal with a lot of big, heavy stuff in your life, and is it the meditations? What is it that because you're a pretty sanguine cat?
Yeah, you just keep on putting one foot in front of the other. That's all.
Really? So
Yeah.
walking.
Yeah, well, you know, that's figuratively as well, but you know, just don't let shit get to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and if you're doing the wrong thing, look, Charles Bukowski submitted 220 short stories, and they were all rejected. And then he found out that he was a poet and not a short story writer. So the key is find out what you do, what you like to do, what you do best, and then do it.
God, I can't wait to find out what that is.
Yeah,
me.
well, keep on and until then, just keep on pretending, and maybe nobody will notice. And you know,
I'm this old hack comedian living down in Florida, and all of a sudden, you know, I was supposed to be a presenter on Gaia.
Why
Who
can't-
knows?
Why
could have
can't-
been a contender.
Why can't we all just be humans? Can we just do that?
We are just all humans.
But
And-
just to be the best human you can be.
Yeah.
And let that be your job.
well, that's my main job.
Right. I think a lot of people forget that's their job. Then.
Being a good human.
Yep.
It really is quite important.
Yeah, but when you get on stage, you got to be a funny human too.
Well, yeah.
That's part of it, you know. And I'll also tell you too, though. There are a lot of comics I've met over the years that are very nice people, very cordial, wonderful. Their stage show is mediocre. Okay, I'm just gonna. They're not. It's not that they're not funny. They're just not wildly funny. But I see them succeeding because they stayed at it. You know, persistence outwears resistance. And what is it? 70% of it is showing up.
Yeah.
Also, packaging. I think how you package it for a lot of people.
Yeah.
See the guys putting on, you know, they got the shirts and the buttons and the bumper stickers before they've actually written an act. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah, but they're getting work, and they a lot of people come out and support them. And
Yeah, a couple million hits on YouTube.
Yep.
People will take a look at you.
yeet.
Yeah. And speaking of that, over the weekend, in fact, all last week, I played at Side Splitters Comedy Club. I had the lovely vantage point of being the host.
Huh.
Really nice. I love hosting. I really do. And I worked with two guys, which allows you to, if you host, you work with two, you know, interesting acts, you know. And the middle act was a guy from Indianapolis, Indiana, who's 28 years old. His first time ever on an airplane, flying down here to do the gig.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
Really? Wow.
And he's a big old couch potato dude. And I bet you he was 6'4", 6'5".
How do you get that gig?
He won it in a contest.
Oh,
I
for
guess.
God's
I
sake.
guess Crackers Indie and then Crackers Side Splitters used to be Crackers, and they switched like feature acts for the week. Somebody from Tampa went up and did the indie room, and this guy Patrick Murray was very funny. A big giant guy. Who's the guy on Harry Potter? The big furry guy.
Got me.
I don't know. I thought you were a Harry Potter guy.
What?
Oh, that's right.
Why on earth would you think that?
That's right. You're into bronies.
You
That's
lost
right.
me at Dumbledore.
I'm not into bronies. I talked about bronies with you. What did you say, Mike?
I see you lost me at Dumbledore.
Yeah, I don't. I've seen the movies, but I wouldn't. To say I'm a Harry Potter guy is odd.
Well,
Wow.
no. Yeah, I'm a Harry Potter guy.
Like I got my school robes in the closet in there, and I'm getting ready to.
oh, your Harry Potter T-shirts all
Yeah.
ironed.
Yeah, when have I ever had any Harry Potter wares? Nothing.
Dude, I-
no stuff.
Game of Thrones?
No,
No?
no. I hate fantasy crap.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't hate it.
Wow.
I'm just not into it.
I missed that about you.
Yeah, you did.
I thought you would enjoy that.
Yeah, I'd rather see porn.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not even a big fan of that. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But closer than the game. I've not seen one full. I've seen one full episode of the Game of Thrones. Half of the second one of the first season. I went,
Okay. Wow. Well,
I was like,
These guys are going to get eaten and frozen to death.
apparently you're a little tough to please.
no, it seemed too complicated for
Dude,
what was being
I didn't
offered.
see any of them.
Oh, okay.
I
yeah.
never saw the first minute of it.
I put more time in than you did.
Yeah. Okay.
I at least checked it out and went, nah. You
Yeah.
just went, what? Nah, I'm not okay with that. Sorry. It's okay, though. I'll let go of it.
Back to Dumbledore.
So anyway, this guy Patrick Murray, big stoner act, but a lot of fun. And then the headliner was a guy named Grant Lyon, who was also friends of my buddy Tom Rhodes from the San Francisco area. Really, really funny, clever writer, and a lot of. He was a very talented guy and very kind. He's just the way comics should be. He was nice and considerate to the other acts and respectful of the club, and he was a good guy. He's going to work for a very, very long time, and he's funny as hell. So, well, anyway, thinking about my past and releasing my past, especially if your heart was attached to these things in a big way, if it was a relationship that broke up or somebody disappeared out of your life or, family issues, moving, relocating, losing jobs, all that kind of stuff that a lot of people hold as a vendetta against themselves because they don't think it went the way it should have. I had a vision one night during a meditation, and it was me. It was while I was doing a lot of my soul cleansing and my victim accountability stuff. My dear friend Fran was helping me through that kind of forcefully, but she was making me do it, but it was good. Anyway, I had this vision of myself. I was out in like a rural area, like in Kansas, like a farm community type thing, and there were no crops in the ground. The ground was barren, and
Sounds more like South Dakota.
South Dakota.
North
Okay,
Dakota,
it could
yeah.
easily be there. I mean, some big old plains state, and there were these huge barns out in the middle of this little crossroads area. It would tell it was like the commercial in and out of something. And inside these barns were all these like catacombs, or they were like a lattice work. And inside the lattice work was a special thing, and I'll tell you what that was in just a minute. So there's this whole like grid work that holds this thing. Now, as I walked around the perimeter of this place, there were all these dried locust carcasses. Okay, it was just their exoskeleton, and they were big. They were like human size. Okay?
Wow.
And they were just laying there. Just the breeze would go by, and they would rock back and forth, and but they were all whole. They weren't tore up. They weren't beat up. They not freshly shed, but it wasn't that long ago. Anyway, I was gathering these things up, gingerly, and I was taking them, and I would find an open square where that would hold this like human-sized cricket or grasshopper exoskeleton or locust, and I would slide it in there. And when I slid it in there, the face of somebody in my past, most of them were girls, but people that or girlfriends, and they would just sit there and look back at me. Okay,
The wall of
What are you
shame.
giving me a locust for?
they're locusts. I don't know why. I don't know the symbolism of it.
The symbolism of the women in your life have been voracious eaters in packs.
In packs.
Here's the carcass.
They swarmed down your soul and stripped it bare like so much corn in the field.
Well, I can tell you that a few years ago, I totally became captivated at the Salvador Dali Museum, and there was like this whole like locust scene in one of his paintings, and it really affected me. And so anyway, here's this like barn full of all these smiling women's faces atop these, locust exoskeletons, and it was like, but there they all were. Nobody was mad. Nobody was angry. Wasn't any snarling or anything like that. but there they were, and I walked out the door, and I stopped, and you know, in a barn you put the big bar over the door. Well, I rested it on top. I didn't slam it down. I rested it on top so I could get back in. And it was really kind of interesting. It was peaceful. And to me, it was just this odd way of categorizing my memories, I guess. And, and I never mean anybody any harm, ex-girlfriends, whatever, ex-wives.
Well, define harm, because from their point of view, you're putting their face on an insect carcass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's like the most loving kind. I mean, it's
a locust.
It's a loving locust. It really is. It's a velvet locust or something. But
okay.
Yeah. So, but that was, there's just ways of. I find that meditating, and but what it really helped me do was shed a lot of feelings that I had about situations and
well, there's the word for you, shed. You shed your feelings, and here you go. You shed them, and you're putting it back into a category with somebody you knew a long time ago, and you're coming to grips with you're getting closure on it.
Yeah, sure. And I guess a lot of relationships do have closure, and you never see each other again or see each other at all or whatever. But there are some that have open-ended clauses, people that you're friendly with and communicate with. And what you got, Chris?
So, Lou, I was just going to ask. So, in talking about all this, what other ways? Do you have any other ways that people might be able to let go of their past, like things that they just can't seem to let go?
Well,
or maybe we should talk about the things that you hold on to besides relationships. What things are being held on to?
The biggest thing. To me, or the biggest aid that I, it sounds really simple, but it is often hard, is you have to forgive yourself, starting right there. When you realize that you are capable of mistakes and errors and misjudgments and selfishness and egoism, and when you accept that about yourself.
Well, that's good. That's Carl Jung, very famous psychiatrist from the student of Freud's, the father of Jungian psychology and the archetypes and all that stuff. Well, if you get down to the nitty gritty of what he was all about, he said everybody has a shadow. And what you do in life is you have to come to grips with that shadow, because the potential for that shadow to do very, very evil things is immense, and we all have it.
Yeah.
And those who don't get in contact with it and are able to make amends with it end up like Stalin and Hitler, who had very, very healthy shadows, and just they never got to master them. Some people don't. Some people find religion, and they don't realize that they're just trading one shadow for the next. So it's really incumbent upon every human being who wants to transcend this kind of dualism and evil and all that stuff that can surround you and really take you away Jung put it, by finding the strength of the power of God. But it's not necessarily God in the traditional sense. In the religious sense, it's God in the eternal sense. The maker of all love, and like we were saying last week, the Creator. And through love, you transcend this duality of good and bad, and light and darkness. And it's constant work, and that's what you do if you're a healthy human being.
Yes, and you're exactly right. I know my own personal self. I have definitely cloaked my shadow in a choir robe a couple times over. Here, wear this. Nobody will notice you.
Just don't molest the kids, okay?
And that's never been a problem. But
just kidding.
But and dealing with your own personal darkness. I mean, because we all have it, and that's why I look at a lot of things, especially like articles on Facebook and mass media. They're written from a very shallow point of view. That oh my God, what an affront! I mean, they are written in first-person victim mentality. I mean, just so you get that trigger, so it hits that GABA receptor in your brain and goes, oh my God, look how wrong this is. They are absolute freaking experts at pricking your wrong sensors, and But if and when you're completely honest with yourself and you've meditated yourself to a neutral position, you realize that some of these confrontations that people were put into, you may have behaved the same way or even worse.
That's why it's important to learn how to step back and take an objective view. You step out of your subjective reality and take an objective view of facts and circumstances around you, so you can actually do a proper analysis of it. Detach yourself from the results of it, and detach yourself from the battle, and then come to a conclusion as to what's right for you in that situation. And it helps if you make a choice that's simple, patience, and it involves your own compassion to self and compassion for others, and then take it from there.
That's exactly right. And having that sorted out in advance really helps you a lot, because when you do have to face these giant situations, you want to perform well. They say, "Oh, how could you possibly have reacted that way in that situation?" You don't know. All you're listening to is a vague recreation of what happened, and like I said, with the "oh my God" button pushed on everything that is presented to you, you really can't see the fullness of the situation, and you also don't know all about the bad guy, the projected bad guy. He may not have been a bad guy, but he may have became the bad guy in that particular scenario.
Well, you need to ask, why am I being orchestrated into this?
Yes.
And then who's doing what, and just the why of it, because you are, especially Facebook, as a really a media central for people our age and even younger. They want to draw you into conflict.
Right.
And that's absolutely the opposite direction that you need to go in.
That's a great way to waste your time.
I mean, there's a great Star Trek episode where there's a negative energy on board, and everybody's at each other's throats trying to kill each other, until they realize that, oh, wait a minute, there's an energy that's feeding off of all this negativity, and it keeps on getting stronger and stronger the more negative we get. So, hey, let's smoke a joint. Let's back off of this a minute. What are we doing here?
Sure.
You know, and then they come into a resolve by finding brotherly love or sisterly love, and just kind of loving their way out of the situation. And that really is, Roddenberry had it right. I mean, he was deep and
brilliant.
And that's that's really a microcosm of our own life that we spend on a daily basis, or here on this planet, and as humanity.
Yes.
As long as we keep on jumping into the negative stuff, we're not going anywhere.
Right. No, and that's exactly where the media and the marketers want you. They want you in this neutral state of semi-fright, semi-fear, but yet this weird level of content that, hey, everything sucks around me, but I just had a great big lunch.
Or else look at the evil in this other person, get angry about it, as opposed to, wait a minute, that person is just a reflection of you, and you're both capable of the same thing. So let's kind of chill out a little bit here.
Oh yeah, I know. And that's why one of the more interesting things I've read over the last couple of years was about that Stockholm syndrome, where people become compassionate about their
Patty Hearst.
Patty Hearst, right, exactly. Go. Yeah, they're captors,
right,
or they're the prison guards or whatever. They, even if they're like volunteers that converted to that position to save their own ass. Very, very interesting. And you don't, and you think ideally, if you were presented to that situation, that you would stand tall and bold, but when it comes to survival. Lord knows, I mean, we manipulate people and situations for much, much lesser things than your own survival. So again, I'll put a period right there and back up a little bit. What I'm telling you is part of releasing your past is that you may have only experienced a TV guide version of what really happened. You don't know the whole backstory about some event that offended you, some person that offended you, or something that parked your attitude about it. You guys that had business failures, you don't know the full depth of everything that happened. You may know a lot of it. You may know an abundant amount, but you don't know the whole thing, and you don't know why it happened. And it's best left an accepted understanding. You're best to accept it, understand it as best you can, and move on from it.
Yeah, take responsibility for what you're capable of taking responsibility for. I mean, for what you did, and then move on, because this is all a spiritual journey. There is no right. There is no. It's all right. There are going to be some wrong steps, but in the scheme of things, they're putting you in the place where you need to be. There's experimentations in life that are going to hurt. There are mistakes that are going to hurt. You're going to get smart. You know, other people may learn from your mistakes, and in the end, we all end up in the same place anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, exactly right. It's like my sister Michelle was posting today that she had something about people come in and out of my life, not necessarily, but for me to help them on their path. Yeah. And that's fine and completely understandable, because there are some people that have come into our lives, sometimes for just a short season, and other times, but yet their time with us was very symbolic. I know you've had a lot of people like that in your life.
Yeah. Some people come into your life for a reason, and some people come in for a season, and or some people come in for an entire life.
Yeah.
So it's we're all here to help each other. If it's not for that, then why are we here?
That. It completely makes sense, because to me, I love the mindset of order out of chaos, because sometimes if it starts in chaos, order will naturally take over. Okay, especially if there's no preconceived notions. If it's just a survival and a maintenance type scenario, you can go into a very, very chaotic situation, and cooler heads will prevail. And you can, it's that old saying, I think it's a Christian joke or something, where the guy says, "You want to go to heaven or hell?" And he goes, "Oh, I don't know." He goes, "Well, here, I'll show you both places." And the guy looks at hell, and there's all these people at a banquet table, and they're sitting across from each other, but yet they're fighting and starving because the forks that they've been given are entirely too long. They can't reach the thing around. The fork is like out of their thing. So there's all this food before them, and they're starving because they can't get the food to their mouth. And then you go to heaven, and there's the same bountiful table, but the people have learned to feed each other with their big, long, awkward forks.
Right. That's the difference between egocentric behavior and behavior that concentrates on service to others.
Yes, exactly. And sometimes that will happen naturally with a group of people. Have you ever seen those traffic videos in like those Middle Eastern countries where they have no traffic law? There's no lights. There's no lane.
Yeah, it's called India.
Is it India?
Oh God, yeah.
Have you been there?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like,
how do you drive? How do you do that?
Well, everybody's got signs on the back of their car saying, "Please honk," because if they won't see it. So all the time you're on the street and they're honking and honking and honking, and you realize that that's how they operate.
Please honk.
Please honk.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite a cry from like Chicago or New York, where it's like you get arrested if you lay on the horn.
Yeah, New York City has a noise ordinance against that too.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Loutopia podcast. Lou Angel Wolf, Michael Bernberg, Chris Gorgeous. Beth Snyder's coming up in the next little bit.
Like 4 minutes, actually. So I was going to break in and ask if you wanted to just run right through it again.
Yeah, let's just, I think we lose people when we take the break.
Yep. And a quick update. I've hijacked through your Facebook listeners. They've helped us out, Trevor and those guys. And we got a cord going through your phone right through the board.
Okay.
So they're hearing the stuff because they were having trouble hearing Mike.
Okay.
Sorry.
And I had the fan on. They're all like, so it says,
drowned out by the fan.
Well, that, and Trevor said, I think it's just the difference between Lou's booming voice and the other gentleman's borderline whisper.
It's mellow Mike.
It's the voice of God.
Oh my God.
Is this Mike hotter than mine, or
No.
okay? because I'm all loud in my head and shit.
Yeah, but you're not. That's the thing. That's the thing. With the phone, you're not going through the mic, so it doesn't matter.
All right.
If he's talking low, it's not going through the mic into your phone.
Okay.
So now I'm trying. I guess somebody suggested we do this chord and see if they can hear it through the board. I think they are, but who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, give us some feedback.
Well, they are. They're trying. But yeah, I'm running like 4 things here. It says, and then I moved the cell phone, and Pam said she couldn't see your beautiful face.
Oh, my beautiful face. She's a hired shill, you know.
So yeah, we'll have her. Well, okay, so he said no, but I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Trevor Thompson.
All right. Well, anyway.
Anyway.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Loutopia podcast. You can listen to us here, Facebook Live. We do this most every Tuesday night at 6:30, and we have a lot of fun with it. The show's about health, humor, and well-being. Although the show is getting ready to take a little turn here, I got I got a logo proof I want you to see.
Cool.
For the new show. We are on Facebook. Hello, everybody on Facebook. Thank you for joining in. And we had 738 views on the Grease Gurus on Saturday.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's really going.
Very cool.
And then we're, of course, on YouTube Live. And we archive all these shows. And we thank you so much for watching every week and tuning everything in. We're also on Podomatic. And, of course, the mothership, which is Loutopia.com. That's Loutopia, Loutopia.com. The home of the Pacifist Riot, which is kind of the backbone of all this stuff. And if you want to go in there and read a little piece of prose, that is kind of where we're basing this. Is the reality is that we come in here with love in our hearts and we try to send out loving information. It may not be beautiful, serendipitous information, but it is presented in the spirit of love that you may learn. And if we're wrong, we're wrong. We apologize right up front. It's just our humble opinion. And so thank you, everybody that listens to us regularly. And I love getting the feedback, and I love getting the texts during the week that people enjoyed the show. And it really, this is an experiment going quite well, so we're happy about that. And all right, well, cool. So anyway, it's the middle of July here in Central Florida, ladies and gentlemen, and we're right in that summer groove, the dog days.
Yeah, the Mungo Jerry groove.
Mungo Jerry, nice pull there. And then we don't get a break till what?
The hurricanes come.
Yeah, there's plenty of hurricanes. There's like 3 of them out there now, isn't there?
Did you see the one heading for Japan?
Oh my God!
Like
yes,
a Category 5.
Yeah, it's Maria, another one.
Maria, yeah, really. Brought to you by your friends at Harp.
There must be a really bitchy chick named Maria that works at Harp.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna name this one Maria too.
It's like, hey, in honor of the Puerto Rican one, let's name this one Maria.
God, I hope that doesn't happen.
Oh man,
one of my favorite guys, James Corbett, lives on the west side of Japan, and he goes, "They don't need another drop of water over there."
No.
So anyway,
or any more atomic waste.
Yeah, I tell you what, folks, you want to learn some stuff, some really well presented podcast and special viewing. The Corbett Report, CORBETTREPORT, thecorbettreport.com. James Corbett, fantastic researcher, really good presenter. I'm a big fan, and he'll lay it out straight for you. There's a lot of stuff to learn there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, like I promised you in the first half of the show, we are covering letting go of your past and severing ties with bad feelings and all that stuff. And so we just so happen to have an absolute specialist on staff for this particular topic. Like I promised you before, my personal hypnotherapist and beautiful soulmate. It's Beth Snyder. Hi, honey.
I love it. I've been upgraded to staff. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Beth.
Hey, we're doing good, honey. And How is how's everything down your end? Everything all right?
Everything's peachy keen. Just having a ball and getting ready to do some more traveling in a little bit. So I'm going to a hypnotherapy conference in Las Vegas, and then I'll go out to Denver for a little bit of hiking. So just got bit by the traveling bug here lately, which is lovely.
Well, they say it's one of the luxuries of life, and you do learn and experience. Just be careful while you're out there. We're missing you back here. So,
Yeah, that wanderlust. It's nice to let it run wild. Sometimes.
Yeah, I got it. I do my best to contain it, but that really doesn't work. But well, Beth, our topic today is releasing our past. And just kind of, taking a fresh inventory of today and moving forward with all of our best elements and kind of leaving the other stuff behind. And I know this is something that you deal with daily, is people that just they get stuck in their past and they can't wiggle their way out.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it said, and I've seen it time and again. What you can't forgive, you become. So, continuing to hold on to that stuff, it's, whatever that may be, anger or hurt or pain or, but, not allowing yourself the time to clear that out. Yeah, it will start to manifest, I believe, in your life as well. But it's not an easy process.
No.
And the world is kind of set up to keep you in your problems.
Boy, isn't it?
With the way everything is marketed to everybody. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about in the first half, how the oh my God button is so hot wired to our GABA receptors. Every headline, every I guess that's are they the greatest editors in the world, the guys that make clickbait? Are they the best?
No, but they know how to tickle the brain, and and we do have very primal brains. And so this, being with this information all the time, our brains get addicted to it. Just like people who chronically watch the news or whatever it may be, but we get addicted to that experience, and our brain wants to kind of try to seek that dopamine release that it's trying to find through that.
Yeah, well, that's exactly the way they write the news. They write all these tragic points. The capsulization or the lead sentence is always some questioningly horrible thing, and especially if they have to go to break, they want you to sit there and ponder: did the guy get eaten by an alligator or what?
No, I used to laugh. They'd say, "There's something in your household that might kill you." The story at 10 tonight. You're like, what? What the hell could it be?
Exactly.
Huh? This was before internet, so we were really screwed, All I had was encyclopedias and my next door neighbors. What do you think's going on there? Something that's going to kill us all.
What's here? I'm not mixing bleach and ammonia. Help me. That just happened to a friend of mine. He had a rental house he had to go clean up. And apparently, it's a sharp guy. This guy's a world traveler, been around, but apparently did not know.
Didn't do a lot of cleaning.
Apparently, he's not done a lot of cleaning.
He's a great guest,
as most guys.
Did not know the bleach and ammonia belly whopper.
Will put you on your ass if you're not careful.
Oh my God! Well, and I guess he. I guess he was like braving through some cleaning and like continued to inhale it for like way longer than a normal person.
Yeah, that'll clean your lungs up pretty good.
Well, he said he was like 3 days later and he still felt like his lungs were burnt.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they were.
Yeah,
you got to wait for those, what are they, villi, bronchi?
Yeah, to heal.
Yeah, shit.
I did that, I did that once with muriatic acid. I didn't know what I was doing, and I was like, I need something stronger than bleach to clean this driveway. Someone said, use this. I about knocked myself into the next county. What?
Well, and I can't, and I'm not picking on my friend Jerry, but who put himself into a coma. But no, I'm just kidding.
Tell his name. I'm not gonna pick on him,
I'm not
Jerry.
gonna embarrass.
Just
I'm
you,
not gonna
Jerry.
embarrass Jerry too bad.
Let me tell you another story about Jerry.
We've all had those moments where we've done something harebrained that was a near death. Like, oh crap, that could have killed me.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. When in my younger days, I detailed a bunch of cars. I was in the car business, and you can't help but have to clean one yourself every once in a while.
Right.
And man, all those concoctions of the dyes and the scents and the cleaners and the degreasers, and man, we breathed some funky stuff back then. And of course, the FDA was like, huh?
Yeah. I had a factory job in New Jersey.
Oh yeah.
It's like, here's some acetone and some pentatone and some ketone. Go clean those machines.
Those are all
with your bare hands.
With your bare hands. Here's a rag. We'll see you at the end of the day, we hope.
those are all justifiable
Drink
reasons.
plenty of water.
Yeah, but I drank something out of a dumpster.
Did you?
I thought it
You
was water.
didn't.
I thought it was water.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, and it was in a big plastic bag with like a tube on it. I thought, oh, that's from some sort of a water, where you get a drink of water thing. And it burned the enamel off my teeth. I don't know what it was, but yeah,
Whoa.
it was not water.
Wow.
It was when I was like 13 or
Oh, my God.
12, 13.
Must have been
Oh,
thirsty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, we were digging around at the lumber yard. I'm like, oh man, it's so hot out. And I'm like, ooh, water.
Dude, that was punk as
And then,
shit.
well, I didn't drink it all the way, like to swallow it. I put it in my mouth to see if I could drink it
Right. Smart.
Yeah.
Oh.
without thinking it could be acid.
Right.
Yeah. Jeez, you never know.
You just lost some of your teeth, not your whole esophagus.
No,
stomach.
just the enamel. The enamel
The rest
came. It
of
came back. The enamel came back. But man, my front teeth were chalky
Did it?
for quite some time.
Wow. That's
Holy
that's
mackerel.
interesting, man. And I got to tell you, Chris, that is punk as shit.
Really?
Just to drink something
That's
out of
a-
a dumpster, that is freaking punk.
Stupid.
That's the ghetto pressed white strips.
That was
Yeah,
the
that's-
Blitzkrieg bop right
You
there.
call it punk. I call it stupid. It's a stupid thing to do.
Well, but you made peace with it.
No.
Yeah. He's left it behind.
Well, that's because I have now what I call the Nostradamus factor in my life. Before I do something,
Uh-huh.
or before something, I think of all the possible outcomes that might happen from that thing before I make a move. Because I want to make
Everything you do, like even
sure. No,
like
not
you
everything.
want to make a sandwich or something.
No, not everything. I know what the
It's
outcome
got to
of the
be
sandwich.
exhausting.
Anything important, anything that like, okay, the car's broken down. Okay, what am I gonna do right now? Okay, I can pull off here. I could do that. You got to plan it out. I don't. What I mean is, I don't act instinctively anymore. I think things through before I put the thing to my mouth and go, let me just taste this. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? I don't need it that bad.
Next time I go drinking out of a dumpster,
Right.
I'm really
Really?
going to take my time.
I hate when that happens.
I think of all the possible scenarios.
Damn. Be more
Well,
careful.
Well, I definitely know the end of one scenario. So
I could fall into the dumpster. Was that number one?
yeah, no, I went in there on purpose.
I say hi to my friend Paige. My friend Paige is on the Facebook. Smart girl. Talk about the girl that knows all of the diet stuff, and she's. We should have her on the show. She's excellent.
Yeah, cool.
But anyway, yeah. Hi, Paige. Good to see you, hon. Thanks all my Facebook pals. You guys are wonderful. There's my sister. I just talked about you a little while ago, so now you have to listen to the whole show if you missed it. Anyway,
Another like on YouTube.
yeah. Hey, I'll take it from a sister, whatever. It's good enough. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about releasing your past and not dragging it around like a big slogging bag of rocks. And I think that's, I don't think, I know that is one of the biggest appeals to people that have like religious conversions. Because I remember when I got saved or forgiven or whatever, I remember the pastor sharing with me that you have just been forgiven all your sins. Everything that was ever bothering you has now been washed clean by the blood of Christ. So,
P.S. There's no such thing as sin.
well, there's that. Well, it takes you years to learn
They
that.
just leave things out.
Okay, but I can tell you at the time it felt wonderful because I was looking for a high pressure cleaning.
Salvation.
Yeah, I wanted to be forgiven, and and I got to tell you, it was a heavy dose of of beauty. It changed me a lot. I was a little, I'm sure, irritable to be around at times because I was a fresh convert, and I'm vocal. I was telling people about the Lord, and led some people to Christ, and I've had people say to me, "Oh man, don't you feel any regret for doing that?" And I'm like, "No, of course I don't." Because I was there for them. They were there for me. It was perfect.
Yeah, Christ is a gateway consciousness anyway, so there's really nothing bad about it. You get stuck there, but it's
Gateway,
a good place to enter.
It is. That's the perfect way to say it. It's a gateway consciousness, and but what it represents, whether you take it,
It's
go ahead.
like the marijuana of religion.
It is. It's the
For those who'd rather be unconscious.
It's a gateway.
Everybody who's unconscious over here to the left. Everybody who's unconscious.
Hyperconsciousness, come with me. We're going to meditate.
But I can tell you that, and I've been to all kinds of. I mean, my everyday life is a search for peace and happiness and joy, and I've expanded it, and I've really stretched it out in some areas, and had some very, very spacey thoughts and beautiful places. Meditated myself to wonderful places, and I think my next thing is I really want to learn how to remote view. Mm-hmm. I want to learn how to do that. I think
get you together with Buddy.
I think I have.
Yeah,
I think I can do that.
Good.
And she lives down in Sarasota. Anyway, right, Beth. Anyway, will you remote view with me? So.
Absolutely.
Okay.
One of my favorite things to do. In fact, I used it when I was on vacation in Guatemala because we lost one of our party in the city. And so I put myself in a trance in the city street, remote viewed, and we found it. Wow.
Awesome. That's great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Oh, very good.
It's really neat.
We got to talk more about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That totally derailed me. I forgot my train of thought.
You'll never be safe in the shower again.
Oh, I would only do it with your permission or in an emergency situation. Or if I'm really curious. No.
Is there an obscure panel? We can just put mosaics over things like on a video.
There's no escaping from this.
all the sensitive areas.
But what I can tell you is in all those experiences, all those meditations and, massaging myself and various minor chemical influences, natural chemical influences to my brain, I can tell you that there was nothing, and still today, nothing that compared to the day that I invited the Holy Spirit into my soul. And it really, it literally felt like a light glowing inside of me. And I have never forgotten it. Even in my worst days, there is still a remnant of that. It really, talk about an absolute life changer. It really let me feel the presence of the Creator, and that one having, and it was like the next morning after I said my prayer of recognition and I woke up the next day.
The morning after Jesus, Phil.
The morning after Jesus. And
there is a hangover when you have that big transformation.
Man, a spiritual hangover for sure.
There's a major subconscious shift for you,
And,
incredible.
But I think actually believing that everything had been swept clean and that I was off on a new adventure in a new vessel, I woke up, and this was in Tampa General Hospital, and I woke up there. I was in traction, and I will tell you, I was on pain pills, okay, but still, it really didn't subside for many weeks after the pain pills. That gift of the Holy Spirit was just seething out of me. But I went down and I asked, the next morning I woke up and I asked to be rolled out to the Tampa General. There's a little deck there where you can have breakfast. I'm in a wheelchair, and I'm sitting there eating my my Raisin Bran.
With a reconstructed hip and broken bones.
Yeah, right, exactly. My legs in a cage, and I'm sitting there just praying, just enjoying it. And it was February 20th, 1991. It was kind of an overcast day, and the clouds were all dark, and then people were driving to work with their lights on. It's like 6 something in the morning. And I'm just sitting there, just being thankful. Just my first absolute prayer that I knew somebody was hearing. I'd prayed before, but not sure that they were going through. I said them on my behalf or whatever. But I really knew I was being heard, and I really knew I was part of a bigger, more wonderful thing. And I opened up my heart at that point, and I said, Creator, whoever you are, I'm here. I'm your vessel. Move me around as you will. And this, it was like total gray. And then this like cloud opened up, and this beam of light came in all the way into the room where I was sitting, and it just surrounded me for a good 30, 45 seconds, maybe even a whole minute. And it just drenched me. I was just I just broke down into I melted.
It's the universe talking back to you.
It sure was. And man, I tell you, it was absolutely amazing. The next day, or later on, the next day, they brought in a guy that had been in a gang fight and got shot in the thigh, and he was my roommate. And I was, freshly saved, and I didn't know what to say or exactly how to do it. So I just repeated what the pastor said to me. And this guy got right with Jesus. And then when I came back home, I said a prayer of recognition with the guy shampooing the carpets. So it was really a beautiful fervor for a long time. And I still live with that joy in my heart. But also, too, I've continued to study and gone down a lot of different paths. Your basic run-of-the-mill American Christianity really doesn't cut it for me anymore. I love you all, and they're some of the most wonderful people in the world. I walk past their camp. That's all. I'm on a road, and I saw their camp, and I stayed, and they were hospitable, and I'm thankful they were part of my journey, but I got to keep moving.
Like I say, it's a gateway to consciousness. So, some people stay there and they're not comfortable with leaving and going somewhere else. And,
yeah.
We all capable of what we are, and we go as far as we can with what we got. Some people just have to stay there. Some people don't even enter the door.
That's true. Beth, when people are, and I'm sure you get a lot of people that are just on the precipice of change, and they're looking you up at BethSnyderHypnosis.com, and they're coming in and they're getting their consultation and they're having sessions with you. What do you do when people are going, I feel like I'm part of something bigger? How do you comfort them with that?
That they're part of something bigger. I mean, there's nothing more beautiful than when I think everyone reaches the realization that we're all connected in one big, beautiful way, that there's no separation. So,
yeah,
if they're there, I mean, that's where I'm hoping to deliver them to.
Yeah.
Through their process. And just like, your story of being saved, it's interesting because there is a bit of hypnosis to that experience for you.
Mm-hmm.
In that it was so shocking to your belief system and to everything that was happening. It was so what you needed in the moment, that it just fundamentally shifted everything for you. So, those moments are so powerful and so profound that we're never the same again. And
right.
I think that a lot of people find that with hypnosis and hypnotherapy and learning how to, go in and do this kind of work where, you're working within yourself, not necessarily, seeking outside of yourself for answers, and connecting to this beautiful energy. And call it what you want. God,
sure.
The universe, collective consciousness. When you can tie into that, when you can feel that, when you can release to that and allow yourself to be led through love and through compassion, my goodness, life gets so much easier. So, yeah, if people can have that experience, when I'm not in that, when I'm not in the flow, when I'm not feeling connected, when I'm not trusting and allowing, that's where frustration or, anger comes in, or, just the muckety muck of life.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure. So I love that story of your salvation.
Oh, thank you.
I think it's very beautiful.
Well,
And I think that it really speaks to, how quickly, one's mind can change and change their whole life.
sure, sure. Well, and and a lot of people. I mean, I have discussed my salvation many, many times in public forums, and a lot of people say, "Well, you just had a major car crash. You were in, you had, medicine in you, and painkillers and all this other stuff." And I'm going, yeah. All that stuff is true, and I would say that if it ended at the end of my medicinal treatments, I would say you were right. It was just the medicine, but that was 1991. It's 2018. So apparently
It lingered a bit.
I had a relapse, man.
Yeah. This is persistent.
Yeah, and
This universal love thing is persistent.
Yeah, it
Keeps
won't.
showing up.
Yeah,
Can't get away
Won't go
from it.
away.
I did a colon cleanse and everything. And but what I find is I find a remnant of that day, those times, very, very reassuring, and it really is it's the anchor that I tie myself to it, because that's the most, it was the most real it ever got for me, and I'm beyond blessed to have been that close, and I got to tell you. I've had an absolutely wonderful life. I mean, I've been banged up a couple of times, but what the hell? Who hasn't? But just know, and I think it's probably the motivation for wanting to do these podcasts and do this other stuff is to not necessarily share that story verbatim, but share the love that generates from having that in my heart. Is I really do want to tell people good things.
Well, I think we're part of a much larger orchestration of things that we have no control over, and the infinite intelligence that lays behind the subtle realm of the universe that manages to orchestrate everything here is well in control. It's the only entity that is, and we can't see where we're going or what we're doing. When we rely on love and compassion, it comes from the Holy Spirit of the infinite being.
Yes.
Then we're always on the right track, and we're being orchestrated by the correct source.
Yeah,
And and I always think of it like this: that whoever I'm looking at, or even whatever I'm interacting with, whether it be a tree or a leaf or my car, any of that, is that I'm interacting with the same energy source as me, just manifesting itself in a different way. Mm-hmm. So, right, we're all just the same. We just manifest it in a different way, but it's the same consciousness, just doing all of it.
And it's so beautiful when you can be there and stay there for extended periods of time. Mm-hmm. Like if you're in a totally safe environment with like-minded people, that's like the CE5.
Yeah.
The Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, for those of you who don't know, that's human-initiated extraterrestrial contact through prayer and meditation. And the people that are seeking this were very, very like-minded. We do, approach the extraterrestrials kind of with a soft belly forward. Here we mean no harm. We would like contact, and we want to get to know the loving side of you.
Right, and what I teach is that if you don't know how to do this and you want to become involved, is you find the thing in life or the person in life that you've loved the most, whether they're alive or dead, and then you dwell on that kind of love, because that's a really special and intense kind of love. And
sure,
and what you do is you take that love and then you circle it around the circle in a clockwise fashion, because we don't want everybody's energy bumping into each other. But you circulate that energy, you hold it in your heart, and then you project it up. So this kind of love is something I want to share with somebody that has no idea what it's all about. Yes. And if you want to know what being truly human is, then here's my love. This is, for me, it's the love of my son and my daughter.
Yes.
And I projected up, and now my grandchild, and that's how you make contact. And
Yes.
they will, if you are able to hold that kind of love in your heart and want to share it, and say it up or to send it up to share, and you want to make contact, they will show. They will be here.
That is the genuine part of it, and I think that's why the CE5s have been so successful.
Yep.
And also too, my sister is coming Saturday.
We're already up to
Oh, Michelle, I can't
20,
wait to hear about
25.
it.
We're at 25.
We're at 25.
We'll bring another tarp.
Bring another tarp. Yes.
another
Yeah. It's with
another
this,
bowl of potato salad.
This has grown from 2 a year and a half ago to they're over 70 people in the group.
That's beautiful.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So,
Yeah, and what a beautiful energy too, folks. It's and I know a lot of people get bummed out because they get caught up in their everyday thing, and life just doesn't seem like it's as much fun as it should be, or that you see other people having, or the projected images of other people having fun. But there is another layer. There is another layer of happiness out there, and it's not that far away. We can all reach it because, like Beth said a little earlier, we're all part of this very, very same thing. We're all one giant organism. And I don't know, I forget where I was listening to some real stoner thought the other day, as our bodies are a home for billions of bacteria. Maybe this entire
10%.
Earth. This entire Earth and all of its ecosystem is a piece of bacteria in an entirely larger thing. That we literally, the space between is just how damn big this thing is. And we're floating on a piece of bacteria.
You're back to the Horton Hears a Who theorem?
Yes, the Horton.
Oh my God! Is this friend of yours from Colorado? By
Yeah, it was. It's interesting, and I love all those little.
Well, I like that at the end of Men in Black they did that. Remember? They had the ball, and we were like
Yeah.
a marble in a alien's bag of toys.
Oh yeah.
Earth
Yeah, that's exactly right. And,
They're a
and that wouldn't be that damn shocking, to be honest with you.
or the butterfly's dream.
Yes, the butterfly's
That's right.
dream. Yeah.
So, that's just a great point, since none of us really actually know. And we're all just going with what feels the best. And we're creating our lives. Then you might as well just enjoy the ride and really create a beautiful life for yourself.
Yes.
And, it's your choice if you want to keep suffering and dealing with all that kind of low vibration, anger, hurt, sadness stuff, or if you're ready to just enjoy it, because you don't know what's going on anyway. So you might as well make it up and
Yeah.
make it great.
Absolutely, Beth. You couldn't be more right.
Yeah, and stop taking all those Instagram photographs. Jesus Christ, come on.
They're going to come back to haunt you.
Right, exactly.
Do you think like 15 years from now, someone's going to be going, I can't find that picture of my breakfast from 1929.
It's going to be digitally stored. It's digitally stored somewhere.
2001. But I need to see exactly how that Egg Benedict looked that day.
You know what's going
So
to be
important.
You know what's going to be worth a high ransom is outdated Tinder swipes. Those are going to be worth a. Guess who she swiped right on?
Right.
I've never
when
even
you're still
seen
old
it.
and alone and you're going through them like, I should have said yes to that guy. What was I thinking? He's okay.
Back when I was feeling all high and mighty, I left swiped a bunch of guys.
Exactly. Now look at me. Varicose veins.
Yeah, people want like swipe reparations.
Swipe. He just kept swiping left, swiping left, swiping left.
I want payment. I want some respect up in here.
I had 3 different names on that account, and he swiped left every time.
3 of them.
Oh, Beth, we love you, honey. Thank you so much.
You guys are fun. You're welcome.
Believe it
Thank
or
you.
not, you've spent another hour in Loutopia. It's always nice here. Health, humor, and well-being. Beth, we love having you on, and thank you so much. You've helped me so much progress as a believer and a human being and a loving entity in this world. And thank you so much for being on every week. And you guys, if you're looking for that little nudge, something that might take care of some problems for you, look up Beth at BethSnyderHypnosis.com. That's Snyder like the pretzels. BethSnyderHypnosis.com, and also to visit the Ohm Shop down there in South Sarasota on Tamiami Trail. It's TheOmShoppe, theOhmShop.com. Beautiful metaphysical shop, lots of stuff to help you find your inner peace. Thank you, Beth. Love having you on, honey.
Love you guys. You feed my soul in a very special way. Love you all.
I know. And my big buddy to the right here, it's Michael Merberg. Doing the good work every day at disabilityattorney.net. That's disabilityattorney.net. Look up Michael, and if you have any of those kind of needs.
Yeah, or if you want to contact me concerning CE5, it's mmerberg at disabilityattorney.net. Send me an email. We'll teach you how to do this.
Yeah, it's a cool thing to know. Chris Gorgeous, where are you playing this week, buddy?
I'm off this weekend. I'm demoing my house.
Oh, okay. Did you get that dumpster?
I will order it next week. I got to wait until after. I'm going to throw it in the driveway.
Okay.
He only does a couple days at a time. Right. He won't let me keep it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, cool deal. Well, I got the week off, but I do have a big CE5 on Saturday night. Looking forward to that. We've already started gathering snacks and blankets.
Cool.
So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, all my Facebook pals. You guys are absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. YouTube, we love you and your big screen and all the stuff that we can flash graphics on. And, man, you just wonderful. Thank you, YouTube. Podomatic. And, of course, our friends at IRN Broadcast. That's IRNbroadcast.com. Mike Peter over there. Lots and lots of great local talent here from the Tampa Bay area and beyond. So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of myself and all these lovely people whom I've loved and they love me back, have a great week. And whatever it is that you're hanging on to, some old crusty feeling, let it go. Let it go. I guarantee you won't miss it. Have a good night, and we'll see you next week. Thank you, Facebook people.